Welcome to Wild Spaces in You, a participatory science project designed especially for distance learning. CitiSci on the Farm 2.0. This project is a collaborative project between UC Davis, the Woodland Joint Unified School District, the Center for Community and Citizen Science, the UC Davis Student Farm, YOLO Farm to Fork, and the Yolo County Office of Ed, all funded by a grant through the United States Department of Agriculture's Natural Institute and Food for Agriculture Project. I'm Peggy Hart. I'm the Education Program Manager at the UC Davis Center for Community and Citizen Science, and I have been an educator for over 25 years.
And my name is Kate Murray. I am the graduate student researcher with the UC Davis Center for Community and Citizen Science, where I'm working on my PhD in science and agricultural education.
And we will be working this year to support you as you engage your students in CitiSci on the Farm. CitiSci on the Farm's project has a few specific goals. We're looking at ways to engage students in an agriculture-focused citizen science project. So for us this school year, that's going to be eBird. We're working on having students gain an understanding of the biodiversity within their ecosystem at home, at school, and on the student farm as it connects to the next generation science standards, focusing on 3rd through 5th grade this school year. And we're focusing on supporting teachers, you and your students, as you engage your students in this project and they deepen their sense of community and student agency. So benefits for engaging students in a YCCS project. I know that many of you have been to our PDs before, but for those of you who haven't, youth citizen science projects give students the opportunity to learn more about their local environment and their local community. It helps students determine what kind of change they would like to see in their own life and their own community. And it gives them an opportunity to really take action and shape their own environment. It gives students an opportunity to gain ownership or feel a part of or have access to science, a field that is not always inclusive. And it gives them the opportunity to contribute to real environmental science research, research that's authentic in their engagement. It also gives you as teachers and educators the opportunity to develop a classroom community around scientific inquiry as you work with your students on this project. So also in addition, because we are living in a time of a pandemic this school year, we have shifted some of our instruction and our lesson design to really focus on California's social and emotional guiding principles for students. When looking at ways to design lesson plans, one of the things that we look at are ways that we can adopt a whole child approach as our goal to education, not just looking at the academics, but also ways we need to support them emotionally. And getting them to engage in this project is one of the ways that we're going to support that. Commitment to equity. We will be highlighting ways that we can look at students being able to see themselves in the researchers and in the science. To build student capacity for their management of their own emotions, and build partnerships with the families and communities, and also ways for students to learn to improve within their own community and within their own self-regulation. If we look at the California Department of Education's roadmap for reopening schools, we see that lesson plans for students should be designed towards positive and achievable goals, allow them to show empathy for each other, and we'll work on connecting with each other's thinking, establish and maintain positive relationships, which can be challenging as we started this school year not in brick and mortar with our students. to make responsible decisions as we really focus on that idea of agency and students understanding that their actions can have an impact on the community around them, and be able to understand and manage their own emotions. For teachers and administrators, we will be focusing our lesson designs on ways that you can use this project to cultivate and deepen your relationship with your students, allow space and opportunities where you can connect with your students and they can also connect with each other, to create a safe, supportive, and equitable learning environment. The project that we've selected this year really has a broad range of engagement strategies, both ways that students can connect with the project and ways that you can share information and resources with them. And also opportunities for you to learn about the ongoing needs of your families as we also look at ways to support parents. So CitiSci on the Farm is going to, as we talk about the 3 dimensions of NGSS, have 3 key dimensions when students are engaging with making observations and sharing and analyzing and interpreting that data. There will be a home component for when students are doing their observations at home. They will also connect with data sets collected on the UC Davis student farm and on their school campus and within their school garden. So the YOLO Farm to Fork will be making observations within the school garden, but depending on if your students are at home or on campus, there may be other data sets, either from other classrooms or other school campuses, that they will also be able to engage with. And all 3 of those locations will be submitting data sets to eBird, where students will be able to compare other sites and locations as they really begin to understand the system that is the environment that they are working and living within.
So as we talk about what citizen science on the farm is going to look like, there are 3 key elements that we'll be working on delivering to you to help make this possible in both distance learning. And so that includes, first and foremost, lessons and how-tos for teachers. These are materials designed specifically for you to give you the context, the background information, as well as ready to implement materials that help with this project. So materials for you as the teacher in complement to ready to implement materials for the students too, and complementary family support materials for parents, caregivers, elder siblings who might be helping your students as they're completing these projects at home. So these 3 elements are the core of what we're going to be providing to you, but there's a lot more than that too. So as you think about engaging in this project, and we're so excited to have you on board, we wanted to talk a little bit about what it means to be a part of citizen science on the farm and what you can expect from us as you're implementing these projects in your classroom. So first and foremost, we know that many of you have made the switch to Canvas this fall. And so we wanted to make that as smooth a transition as possible by creating modules in Canvas for you to access all of this content that I just talked about, the student-facing materials, the teacher-facing materials, and the family-facing materials. We know, though, as we're transitioning onto a new platform, that maybe that's not always the most comfortable way to be doing it. So in addition to these Canvas or Instructure modules, we'll also be making accessible a Google Drive that has all these resources, if that feels a little bit more comfortable to navigate as you're really kind of getting your legs on Canvas still. And those materials will include synchronous and asynchronous lessons, as well as background information that will help you answer student questions and feel more confident going into implementing these lessons. So in addition to the materials, we'll also be making sure that there are regular feedback mechanisms ongoing throughout the program. So this will include surveys that are in that Canvas course that you'll be joining, so that way we can get your feedback about the lessons. This is a really dynamic year, as you fully know. Things are changing rapidly, and so we want to be adaptable and change to meet your needs and to meet your students' needs. So there will be opportunities for ongoing feedback as well as ongoing support from Peggy and I as you're implementing these, and we're all learning together what is and is not working in this kind of unprecedented time. And of course, there's so much expertise in this room. You're joined by other teachers from Woodland Joint Unified School District who are also experimenting and implementing these lessons in their classrooms. And there's an opportunity to learn from other people as they do that on group discussion boards through Canvas. And those relationships, I think, are really some of the most exciting things that we have as part of citizen science on the farm. And that includes relationships that you all will have as far as professional collaborations, leveraging the other teachers in this community, us here at the Center for Community and Citizen Science, YOLO Farm to Fork, but also then too, relationships that your students get to build. So we'll be creating opportunities for your students to have connections with UC Davis undergraduate students who are interns at the student farm, as well as connections with UC Davis ornithologists and ecologists, PhD students. We're really thinking about how we can form this broad network and community that's rooted in these really important places that we may not be able to access right now as our schools aren't physically open, but building in that broad professional network, both for you and for your students. And so one of the ways that we're going to really try to root that in this virtual world is through our citizen scientist notebooks. So many of you and your students have already received copies of the Citizen Scientist Observation Notebook. And this is a physical place for students to engage with data sets and look for patterns and findings across their home environments, their school gardens and school campuses, as well as the UC Davis student farm. And these notebooks are going to be shared not only by all the students who are in the program, but then also those UC Davis student farm interns, our ornithologists, to help make that sense of connectedness and community. So all of that is really great to think about, but let's dive into what it actually looks like in practice. So we mentioned that a lot of these resources will be hosted on Canvas or Instructure, which is the free version of Canvas. And this screenshot here just gives you an idea of what you can expect when you log in for the very first time. There's a brief welcome as well as a little bit of intention setting for how we'll be using this. And most of the important information will be housed within specific modules, which we show here. So in these modules, you'll see they're broken up to mirror those three big areas of support that you can expect from us as far as teacher materials, student materials, and family materials. Our goal in having these materials designed and oriented to these different audiences is to make it as frictionless as possible as you're implementing this. And at the end of every module, we'll have download packets that will allow you to upload the content directly into your course. And so within these modules at the start of every single one are a detailed module overview. We know that there's a lot going on right now. And so we want to make sure that we're really walking through how are you using these resources? What is the point of this video that you're watching, or what is the point of this discussion board here? So in every module, that first page, that first landing page is an overview, so you can know exactly at a glance how much time it might take and what exactly you can be expecting to look for in every single resource that we have. So embedded in that too are these slide decks that are already made. You'll notice that the slides have slightly different backgrounds depending if they're oriented towards you as the teacher in this lighter gray background, or white, which means that they're student facing. And it's all in there together. So that way you can have the content and have the lead up all in one common place. And it's not just Canvas that we're building out for you all. We're also working on a YouTube repository. We've had students and faculty out at the UC Davis Student Farm all summer filming some fabulous videos of really cool processes happening out in nature. And we'll be uploading these into this YouTube repository. So that way, as you're talking about these important concepts, talking about these important ideas and making connections, you have live video film from right here in the community that you can be showing your students examples of the concepts that you're talking about. So we're so excited to have you as part of Citizen Science on the Farm, and so excited to welcome you to this project. While of course you can always get a hold of us through Canvas, through those discussion boards, as well as through direct message, we've included here our emails. Don't hesitate to reach out as questions arise, as you dream up new brilliant ideas of things that we can all be implementing together. This is your learning community, and we are so excited to be of service to you and have you as part of this project.
Thank you so much for choosing to engage with this. We are so excited. And just remember, this is a dynamic year to say the least. So if you feel there is a need out there, feel free to make a recommendation and suggest it. We will be talking to you soon.